There is a silent struggle that most of us fight. It is the battle of the will. We are led to believe from a young age that success is a matter of force, of pushing harder, of working longer hours, of wanting it more fiercely. We live under the tyranny of making it happen, and so we exhaust ourselves. We push the boulder up the mountain day after day, only to watch it roll back down at dawn. You know this feeling, don't you? That weariness that isn't of the body, but of the soul. The frustration of watching your well-laid plans go astray due to factors you cannot control. You feel like a conductor leading an orchestra where every musician has decided to play a different tune. The result is chaos. A deafening noise of broken dreams and frustrated expectations. You look in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? What is the missing piece? What if this missing piece isn't a new productivity strategy? What if it's not a new self-help book or another guru to follow? What if the missing piece is, in fact, an act of surrender? A complete reversal of the logic the world has taught us. Napoleon Hill, the man who spent over 20 years of his life dissecting success, interviewing more than 500 of the world's most powerful minds, like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison, found this piece. He saw it time and time again behind the curtains of great fortunes and great lives. It was a secret so fundamental that it hid in plain sight. A principle that, when applied, not only changes the game, but changes the very nature of the one who plays it. It is the principle of aligning your finite will with an infinite force. It is the decision to stop fighting the current and instead learn to navigate with it. It is the act of putting God first. Welcome to Temple of the Mind. For the next few minutes, I ask you to open your mind beyond the conventional. What we are going to explore together today is not a religious sermon, but rather an operator's manual for life, based on Napoleon Hill's meticulous observation. He referred to this greater force as infinite intelligence, the source from which all thoughts, all inventions, all life emanates. Whether you call it God, the universe, source, or consciousness, the name is irrelevant. What matters is your decision to connect with it. We are going to dive deep into 3 practical stages of this connection. 3 acts of transformation that will take you from a state of struggle to a state of flow, from a state of chaos to a state of clarity. And by the end, you will understand how, by taking this first step of faith. You allow everything else, literally, to fall into its proper place. The starting point of all great achievement, according to Hill, is faith. But what is faith? Most faith is a vague hope, a passive wish for things to get better. I hope I get the job. I wish my business would succeed. This is not faith. This is merely a wish floating on the wind. The faith that moves mountains, the faith that builds empires, is of a completely different nature. It is an active decision. It is a state of mind that you deliberately cultivate. It is the act of treating your goals, not as possibilities, but as realities that have not yet materialized on the physical plane. Putting God first is in its essence. The act of making this decision is looking within yourself and declaring with unshakable conviction, I am not operating alone. There is a partner intelligence, an infinite wisdom that guides my steps and amplifies my efforts. Think about it. How does this change in premise alter your energy? When you believe that everything depends solely on you, the burden is overwhelming. Every mistake is a personal catastrophe. Every closed door is a sign of failure. Doubt and fear become your constant companions. But when you actively decide that a greater force is with you, fear dissipates. Doubt loses its power. You begin to see challenges, not as insurmountable obstacles, but as strategic detours orchestrated by this partner intelligence. You understand that sometimes one door closes so that a bigger, better one can open just ahead. Napoleon Hill called the mechanism for cultivating this faith autosuggestion. It is the process of feeding your subconscious mind with positive affirmations until they become your dominant truth. Change your inner dialogue. Instead of this is too hard, affirm, I am being guided to find the solution. Instead of what if I fail, declare, I am destined to learn and grow with every step. This is your first task. Before you drop a business plan, before you make a call, before you write the first line of your book, sit in silence and make the decision. Feel this decision in every cell of your body. Visualize this partnership with infinite intelligence. This decision is the foundation upon which all else will be built. Without it, you are building your house on sand. Once the foundation of faith is established, how do you manifest it in the real world? How does this abstract belief translate into concrete action? The answer lies in what Hill considered the most important of all his lessons, the definite chief aim. Many people misinterpret the concept of surrendering to God. They see it as a free pass to an action. They say, if God wills it, it will happen, and then they wait passively. This is not faith. It's spiritual roulette. True faith is an active partnership, a co-creation. Putting God first does not nullify your responsibility. On the contrary, it elevates it. It means you respect this partnership so much that you refuse to present it. With a vague and formless request, imagine that infinite intelligence is the greatest architect and builder in the universe. You hire it to build your dream home. It turns to you and asks, "Excellent. What do you want me to build?" And you reply, "Oh, I don't know, something nice. Good house." Can you see the absurdity? The architect has all the power, all the materials, and all the wisdom to build anything, but it cannot begin without your blueprint, without your vision. Your definite chief aim is that blueprint. It is your clear, concise, and passionate statement of what you desire to manifest in the world. It is your act of saying, "God, universe, I have so much faith in our combined power that I dare to ask for this specifically. I believe so strongly in our ability to create that I define this goal with absolute clarity." Clarity is an act of faith. Indecision is an act of doubt. When you don't know what you want, you are sending a signal of distrust. You're saying that you either don't believe you are worthy of a specific desire, or that you don't believe in your divine partner's ability to deliver it. Take out a pen and paper now. Not later now. Write down in one clear positive sentence what you desire to achieve. Do not write what you don't want. Write what you do want. I am going to become a best-selling author who inspires millions is infinitely more powerful than I don't want to struggle financially anymore. This purpose is not just a goal. It is your mission. It is your North Star. Read it aloud every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to sleep. In doing so, you are not just reminding yourself of your goal, you're performing a daily ritual of faith. You are continually handing the blueprint to the master architect, reaffirming your partnership and keeping the channel of communication open and clear. We now arrive at the most subtle and, for the Western mind, the most challenging stage. You have established your faith as a decision. You have given that faith a clear direction through your definite purpose. You're doing your part, taking the daily actions inspired by your goal. And now what? Now comes the ultimate act of trust. You let go. You renounce the tyranny of control. Over the how, this is the part where we read ... and watch your life fall into place. Observation requires a state of allowing. You cannot observe and control at the same time. The human mind, in its craving for security, wants to plan every step, predict every obstacle, and control every outcome. But infinite intelligence operates on a level of complexity that our conscious mind cannot even comprehend. It sees pathways you do not see. It knows people you do not know. It can orchestrate coincidences and synchronicities that seem like miracles from our limited perspective. Your need to control every detail acts like static in the communication. It's as if you entered the address into the GPS, and then every 5 seconds, you rip it from the dashboard to try to find a better shortcut on your own. You end up lost, frustrated, and exhausted. Letting go of control does not mean giving up. Giving up is an act of doubt. This isn't going to work, so I'll stop. Letting go, or surrendering, is an act of faith. I have done my part with clarity and action, and I now trust that my divine partner is handling the rest. How do you do this in practice? Begin by acknowledging the anxiety. When you find yourself obsessing over the how, stop. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, my only responsibility is my purpose and my daily action. The outcome and the path belong to a wisdom greater than my own. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Gratitude shifts your energy from what is lacking to what is abundant. And this energy of abundance is an invitation for more good to flow your way. Be open to detours. Sometimes the universe will give you a no to a specific request in order to give you a yes to something even better that you didn't even know you wanted. The job you didn't get might have been the very thing that freed you up to start your dream business. The relationship that ended might have been the space you needed to find yourself and then attract your true partner. It is in this space of trust and allowing that the alignment happens. The right people call, the right opportunity appears in your email. The right idea comes to you during a walk. The pieces of the puzzle begin to fit together, not because you forced them, but because you created the magnetic space for them to be drawn to you. What we have explored today is not a mind trick. It is a philosophy of life. It is the journey of moving out of the driver's seat, exhausted and lost, and taking your rightful place in the navigator's seat, yet defining the destination with clarity and trusting the expert pilot to chart the best. Of course, the formula, therefore, is simple to understand, but it requires daily practice to become your reality. First, decide to have faith. Transform your passive hope into an active, unshakable conviction that you are in partnership with infinite intelligence. Second, define your purpose. Give that faith a clear and passionate direction. Hand the blueprint of your desire to the master architect with absolute confidence. And third, surrender the outcome. Execute your daily actions with excellence, and then release the how and the when to this greater force. Watch with curiosity and wonder as the universe rearranges itself for you. This is the transformative power of putting God first. It is not about abandoning your ambitions. It is about supercharging them with a power that goes far beyond your own strength. It's about stopping the fight and starting to dance with life. If this profound lesson from Napoleon Hill has resonated in your heart, if you have felt the truth behind these words, then we ask you to take the first step on your journey of alignment. Like this video so that this message can find others who are also searching. Subscribe to Temple of the Mind to continue deepening your wisdom, and as an act of reflection, comment below. What is the fear or the need for control that you decide, starting today, to surrender to infinite intelligence so that your life can finally fall into place? Your journey into a life of flow begins now.